Everyone knows that at high levels of competition, the slightest advantage can be the difference between chicken dinner and a sloppy second place sandwich. So competitive gamers should be really excited by the ASUS PG259Q. This is the first 360 Hz gaming monitor. But can this fast IPS panel even take advantage of that kind of high refresh rate without becoming a blurry mess? Can any PC games even run at 360 frames per second? And if they can, will you, a common gamer, be able to properly appreciate the difference between this and an already insanely fast 240 Hz monitor? I doubt it, but our sponsor believes in you. This is the new Vengeance A4100 streamer PC from Corsair. It's powerful, it's beautiful, and you can pick it up today at the link in the video description. You've probably heard or even experienced that upgrading from a gaming monitor that refreshes at 60 Hz up to one that refreshes at 100 plus Hz is a much more noticeable jump than, say, going from 120 or 144 up to 240. That's because 60 Hz displays are showing you a new frame about every 16.5 milliseconds, whereas 120 to 144 Hz, that's a new frame about every 7 milliseconds. That means that whatever you're looking at in that comparison is gonna be twice as up to date. Then, when we jump from 144 to 240, that only shaves 3 more milliseconds off. And finally, going from 240 to 360, that's an extra 120 refreshes per second above the existing fastest monitors around, for a whopping savings of just 1.4 milliseconds each frame. To find out if that's an improvement that can even be perceived by the average gamer, we set up a blind test with the PG259Q next to not one, but 3 competing 240 Hz monitors to see if anyone, including me, could tell the difference.
Woo! I'm excited. I really don't like this monitor.
This is good. This one feels good.
Yeah, I'm guessing just purely off of how many of like this block I can see at once when I go like this. I think I can see more of it.
70% sure that this would be the highest refresh rate one.
Really having a hard time even picking out the difference, because these games are running at about 700 frames per second or above. So I would say this is the 360 and everything else is the 240.
I have no clue if I can do this. You can see here, like I'm basically just creating circles with this thing on all of them, so it doesn't really matter if you have more frames if it's all just kind of a schmeary mess anyway. I think I might guess this one just because I feel like there's a bit more like trails behind the objects when I move it.
I want to say that the second one might be 360 Hertz, but that's kind of just a guess at this point, honestly. It's number 3, damn. It really doesn't feel any different to me.
You think you're gonna bamboozle me, eh? Not a chance. I'm a pro gamer.
I need more wood.
I'm gonna say it's that one, but I'm probably wrong. So.
You're wrong.
Cool.
I'm going with my gut feeling. I can't tell, but not only did I kind of feel like it was this one, I scored the best on this one, I'm saying it's this one.
God is right.
Wow, it's subtle. Like, yes, I gave an answer. Yes, it was correct. Don't read too much into it. There were quite a few learnables here, starting with that none of our gamers, even the ones who guessed correctly, were confidently able to identify the 360 Hz monitor from gameplay. But is it just because the refresh rate jump is too small? Another factor could be the pixel response times. Remember guys, if the pixels can't change color fast enough, smeary motion blur could hurt the experience no matter how many times you refresh the picture per second. By the way, you should try refreshing lttstore.com where the pictures are always clear. Wow, we really shoehorned that one in. Anyway, early 240 Hz monitors, like the ASUS PG258Q, used TN panels, the LCD technology with the fastest pixel response times. By contrast, the PG259Q uses an IPS type panel, which is traditionally known more for color accuracy and wide viewing angles rather than for speed. So to see how the pixel response times of this new monitor compared to its 240Hz TN predecessor, we put together a Blurbuster's Pursuit camera setup, which helps us capture the motion blur produced by the monitor without the blur introduced by persistence of vision. You can see here, the old TN has less ghosting, but is actually a bit less clear with thicker lines and a bit of image doubling. Compared to itself running at 240Hz, the PG259Q at 360 looks only slightly more clear, but with a similarly slight increase in inverse ghosting caused by pixel overdrive and a lot more smearing on the dark background, which suggests that the panel struggles with light to dark transitions. And for bonus points, by the way, here it is compared to the Samsung Odyssey G7, which uses a VA panel. Interestingly, the clearest image we got from the PG259Q was when it had ULMB turned on, which is only available at 144Hz and 240Hz. Nothing more, nothing less. You know, I'd actually love to see a Pursuit camera setup of a high refresh rate OLED, since they supposedly have instantaneous pixel response times, which actually we can do when LG's CX120Hz OLED TV arrives. Make sure you guys sub so you don't miss that. Anyway, with all that in mind, is there any point in paying, yeah, it's more expensive, $200 to $300 more for the PG259Q compared to a last gen 240Hz monitor? Well, probably. In our video investigating how refresh rate affects the performance of pro gamers, we discovered that it depends on the in-game scenario. So even if this monitor doesn't offer much more motion clarity than existing offerings, the higher refresh rate could still give you an advantage in situations like our CSGO double door hallway test, where having the most up-to-date information can make a huge difference. And there are actually other ways that this monitor is just plain better than its predecessors. Take a look at this color accuracy. Yeah, that's for real. You could legitimately use this thing for gaming by night and creative, color critical work by day, as long as you're working in the sRGB color space. That's because as an 8-bit panel, its gamut coverage isn't the greatest, and unfortunately, that doesn't change even if you use a graphics card that supports display stream compression. Rats. That also plays into its HDR performance. I mean, hey, it's HDR10 compatible, but its low peak brightness keeps it from really shining in this respect. And like most HDR-ent monitors, as we call them, it can look sometimes worse in HDR mode than in SDR. It also has G-SYNC though, and that is standard real G-SYNC, not compatible or ultimate, which means that its variable refresh rate range is completely unlimited, and it means it has variable overdrive, meaning less noticeable coronas at lower frame rates than you would get if it was overvolting the pixels the same across all frame rates. It does have limitations. As mentioned earlier, it's got ULMB, but notice the use of NVIDIA's acronym here. ASUS usually calls their low motion blur ELMB, and mightn't you expect it to have ELMB sync? That is, backlight strobing while G-SYNC is on? Well, sorry, it doesn't. You'll have to turn variable refresh rate off if you want that motion blur reduction that gave it that amazing clarity. Back to the bottom line though. Should you buy this monitor? I, for one, think it's absolutely fantastic, but only for a very specific gamer. So if you're a competitive player and you play games that your PC can actually run at frame rates above 300 FPS, and you don't need more than 1080p, then this is one of, if not the best 240Hz monitor on the market. And oh, it can also run at 360Hz if you're sensitive and skilled enough to, well, if not benefit from it, at least even notice it. Backblaze is a cloud storage solution that's easy to use and affordable, starting at just $6 a month. With Backblaze, you can back up your personal or business data and even use it as a B2 storage solution. Over 50 billion files have been restored, and they've got over an exabyte of storage now. You can back up almost anything and restore your files from anywhere with their mobile app, allowing you to access your files on the go. If you need to restore, you can download your files directly from the web or restore by mail. So you just purchase a Restore via hard drive and they will overnight FedEx it to you. You copy the data to wherever you want it to go, and then you return the hard drive to them for a refund. Crazy, right? It's unlimited data backup at a fixed price, and you can get a fully featured 15-day free trial at backblaze.com/LTT. So try it out for yourself and start protecting yourself from bad times at the link in the video description. If you're looking for another video to watch, an obvious one is checking out the big collab we did with Shroud, Mr. Grimm's, Corey, and Paul's Hardware, where we determined once and for all if higher FPS makes you a better gamer. Spoiler alert, it does, but with some caveats. You definitely have to watch the video.